Introduce the tall, the handsome, the fantastic, and funny Mr. Collins. Everybody put your hands together.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Stacy. Everyone, remember to buy your tokens for the gold and silver teams. I'm so happy I got the opportunity to give my observations here at the temple. I've been a temple member for many years, and I just love the way some of the temple services are run. For example, I love the people who get called up to the ark. Like, I've never been called up to the ark. The people seem to have a little bit of swagger when you get called up to the ark, especially on the high holidays. They get the, that little bit of, slow walk coming up, like, I've donated a lot of money to the temple, so, hey, I'm going to take my time, you know what I'm saying? And what it seems to be is that on Rosh Hashanah, some of the people who donate to the ark, they come up, they take their time, they see how long it's going to take to actually open up the ark. They seem to really, really take their time. And then, what kind of bothers me is at the end, they seem to kiss everybody on the stage. They kiss the rabbi, the cantor, sisterhood, the brotherhood. I actually saw one couple actually kiss the organ player. It seems to take some time to get them on. Another suggestion I think I'd like to make is I'd like to introduce the shot clock at temple services. When the rabbi actually has you stand up during the temple services, I'd like to know exactly how long I need to stand up. Kind of like a shot clock in basketball. Rabbi goes up, 10 minutes. You at least know exactly what your feeling is for how long you need to actually be standing. I'm not saying putting anything by the ark or anything really, in the way, maybe over by the organ, but I think this is a very good thing to do. The other thing is I really don't like when you're standing up and you get the quick sit down. I've got my prayer book out, I got my Tic Tacs sitting next to the seat, I'm in good shape, and then you get the quick call up from the rabbi. That's why I think the shot clock is a really good idea. A couple of other things I suggest is, one time I actually had to use the restroom during the high holiday services, making a number 2. I didn't really think I'd be doing this at temple, during the actual dinner. And I was actually wondering, did I have to stand up when I heard the Shema being said in the actual congregation? I thought that was a little weird, okay? I'm actually suggesting maybe we put, like how sports bars have TVs in the bathrooms. I'm thinking of maybe a live art cam that we could put in the temple. Just thoughts there. I don't know how many of you know the words to Die Dayenu, but that's pretty much all the lyrics I know. I joined a Reformed temple for that exact reason. When you sit there and you're hearing the other lyrics, I am screaming Die Dayenu at the top of my lungs. That's one of the reasons that I'm actually not a member of Sinai down the street, because in their interview session they said, do you know the words to Die Dayenu? And of course, I said, who doesn't? And I said, Die Dayenu, and they said, what else do you know? And I said, nothing, and then they pointed me to Solel. So I thought that was a good idea. And maybe that's why so many people are leaving Sinai to come here. I don't know. I always wonder when the perfect time to fart during the high holiday services is. I don't know if anybody has really thought about that. I'm big into lists. I think the top 2 reasons on when you can fart during the high holiday services. One, during Die Dayenu, which makes perfect sense because it's loud and it's raucous. And the other time is when they're bringing the Torah around for everybody to give it a nice little kiss and things like that. I've never seen so many Jews running for a Torah in my life during that session. It's like the running of the bulls of Pamplona. I mean, you've got this 90-pound bar mitzvah boy carrying it over, and everybody just coming over saying, you know what, I've got to touch the Torah. So that's another perfect time to do it. The other thing is, with bar mitzvah services, you got to figure that the rabbi and the cantor, I think it's wonderful that our cantor plays the guitar. I think it's I love the cantor, I love his music, I think it's great, and I think they really work together. Who I don't think works really well together is people who come up to do an aliyah during a lot of these services. Like, you just know the parents, the grandparents are practicing these aliyahs like 1,000 times before they get to the regular session. But sure enough, when Rabbi passes it over and they get that aliyah and it's you don't understand a word that they're saying. Okay? I think what has to happen is, I think both the male and the female, somebody has to take the lead because they always get confused. I'm not really big on lip syncing here, but somebody needs to lip sync the first aliyah. That's all I'm saying. Bar mitzvahs are something these days. When I got bar mitzvah, I was introduced to, I came out and they said, here's the bar mitzvah boy, and it was, sunrise, sunset. It's this girl I carried. Now bar mitzvah boys and girls are being introduced to Gangnam Style. I mean, I really don't understand that. When you've got a bar mitzvah boy doing a little thing here, I'm not sure what's really going on there. And when exactly did Snoop Dogg start emceeing our bar mitzvah these days? I don't really know exactly when Snoop Dogg started emceeing, and you needed to have the dancers, these 15-year-old dancers that dress like hookers, to actually help Jews dance at these bar mitzvahs. It makes no sense. I mean, Jews are lazy enough, but we don't need help to dance. I mean, I grew up with the electric slide, Who doesn't know the electric slide? I mean, I was doing the electric slide when these kids were in the womb, and they seem to have out. They're helping grandma, little grandma who walks in with the cane, she's doing Gangnam Style. I don't know what happened to the old lady. I absolutely love the cocktail hour because I love to watch Jews eat. I think watching Jews eat is a wonderful thing. You've never seen so many Jews attack a $7 an hour 16-year-old serving mini hot dogs. It's like they've never seen them before. And I always judge exactly how good a bar mitzvah or a wedding is by how many stations there are. The number of stations rock. If you have over 5 stations, if you got sushi, you've got everything going on, you know it's a good one. But the biggest thing at cocktail hours is the baby lamb chops. When the baby lamb chops come out, there seems to be a hush amongst the cocktail hour. Like, you'll see people huddling in the corner like, what's going on there? Like little Jews, like bees going over to the baby lamb chops. And all of a sudden, everybody just attacks who they always give it to, not the 6'5" tall guy who can hold his own. It's always the 5'2" little girl who gets absolutely attacked by all of these Jews going after the baby lamb chops. It gets so bad that I know many people actually wait out by the kitchen to see when the baby lamb chops are coming out. My last bar mitzvah, a friend of mine actually went into the kitchen to get the baby lamb chops. I'm not kidding. I thought it was outstanding. Hava Nagila used to be a huge thing. The big hora, you lift up everybody in the chair. Now, when Snoop Dogg, our MC, can get Hava Nagila on iTunes, it's not really the same thing, especially when he's singing it as Hava Nagila. Snoop Dogg is singing it as Hava Nagila. You have to, I miss the big band, I miss the huge hora. Hava Nagila has turned into like a 3-minute little rap song done by Naughty by Nature on iTunes. I just don't understand what's happening. Another thing I absolutely love at bar mitzvahs is the candlelighting ceremony. But I think the best part about the candlelighting ceremony is whether you don't know if you're going to get a candle or not. You're a good friend, you're not sure, you're a distant relative. They go to candle 5, 6, 7, it's like bingo. You're one away, you're not sure. Aunt Betty, you're not really sure how Aunt Betty got in there. She certainly doesn't deserve it. She hasn't seen the kid in 3 years. You're getting a little ticked off. So eventually, if you do get the candle, sometimes I'll get the candle when they invite, this is a new thing, they invite like 87 families up for the candle picture. You know, we like to have the Collinses, the Cohens, the Eichlersches, the Rabinowitzes, the Smiths. This I just don't get. I mean, you want to feel like you're proud to light a candle, but you certainly want to feel proud that you were chosen when you're taking the picture with 800 people and the camera guy's like, okay, everybody move in. There's no way in hell he's getting any of these people in the picture. And you're like, trying to do something like this. It just doesn't happen. And when people say, hey, hi Jill. When you're actually saying, hey, I feel very special that I got a candle, little did you know that 3 waiters and the DJ actually got called up for the candle as well, which isn't the greatest thing ever. The other thing is the bar mitzvah invitation. The bar mitzvah invitation, I've got a daughter who's bar mitzvah age. She gets invited, and I say to my wife, honey, did we make the cut or not? You know, your good friends, you know you get invited. Some, you know, you're shaking it up, you're thinking, is there 3 people invited, 1 people invited? You kind of had to figure out how many people were invited. Hopefully if you didn't get invited, it's a very small bar mitzvah. Then you find out 400 people from Emerald Hills were invited and you weren't. You're trying to figure out, hey, hopefully I'll go to shenanigans that night and not have to worry about seeing anybody. I think that's the best way to go. But bar mitzvahs and invitations and everything, you gotta just, hey, if you invite a ton of people and you're not invited, you just gotta take one for the team and just be happy for the family. The other thing is, and I'm gonna wrap it up as I see the dinner's been eaten, is Jewish food. Love Jewish food, absolutely love the different kinds. You know, but I think Jewish people own certain food. Like, I never go out with I never heard from like a non-Jewish friend who said, Dave, my wife made the best kashvanishkas last night I've ever had in my life. I've never actually heard that. Like, I've never heard at work somebody say, Dave, we had a huge party last night. There's a ton of pickled herring in the cafeteria if you want. Never heard that either. I don't think Howard Schultz of Starbucks is considering adding Kumintash to the Starbucks menu. Because if he did, I think he'd ask his vice president of sales and say, hey, do we sell any Hamantish this week? And they'd say, yeah. How many? 30. Where'd we sell them? Emerald Hills. And then you got your Jewish delis. The Jewish delis are just killing me. I don't know when fresh squeezed orange juice became the rarest commodity in the world, but I don't know if any of you have actually ordered a large fresh squeezed orange juice at a Jewish deli. It comes out like a shot glass. And my dad never let me actually drink the whole thing. I literally almost had to use like an eyedropper to actually feel like I was getting filled up on the fresh squeezed orange juice. It's crazy. Jews also own the black and white cookie. I don't know who's trying to steal from the Jews the black and white cookie. Who's trying to steal the black and white cookie? But at the end of the day, they come in mini and Publix is trying to sell. At the end of the day, Jews own the black and white cookie. You can't make it a smaller cookie. It's got to be the bigger cookie. Jews also own the scoop bagel. I don't know how Jews created the scoop bagel, but I've never been with a non-Jewish friend in a deli and they say, I'd like a scoop bagel with whitefish. It just doesn't exist. We're not just happy with the food, we have to change the food. And at the end of the day, the doggy bag. Jews need the doggy bag. I've seen actual meals that are the size of a piece of sushi, and the older Jewish woman cuts it in half to take some back home. This I don't understand. I actually saw a Jewish woman walk into a deli holding a doggy bag. She hadn't even been served yet. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night.